What up, world? Welcome back to another episode of Breaking Command, a D&D football podcast. As always, you got your boy, Darian D.H. Williams in the mix, DH on the mic on X. And you got my partner in crime, my brother from another, the man with the same name as me, just add another R. We got Darren Midget, a.k.a. D-Mitty. D-Mitty, take you off mute and say, what's up, bro?
Hello. Good afternoon. No, I was gonna try to do the Diddy joint, but no Diddy on that. But how you been doing, man? Feeling good, feeling great. How about you, King?
Hey, man, I'm good. You know, we're in week 2 of the preseason. And as we promised the fans on Breaking Command podcast, of course, make sure you like, subscribe, share with a friend. If you feel so inclined to leave us a 5-star review, you can get your 5 seconds of fame. That's it. That's all. Of course, like I said, man, we promised that we would keep bringing the content. You know what I'm saying? That's what they want. That's what they want to hear. And we said we're going to bring some of the best of Commanders, content creators, alumni, media members into the mix. And I said, man, you know what, Mitty? I said, we got to get somebody, man. We got to go for the big guns, man. There's a guy out there that's in the Commanders space.
You did that, brother. You did that with this one.
That is running things. You know what I'm saying? I said, we need to go with one of the best, man. So I said, let's get my man Rio Robinson. I said, D-Mitty, do you think he would have us? Do you think he would come on the show? And he was like, yeah, I think he will. So I reached out. I said, let's get my man Rio in here. So, of course, we're going to bring in right now the host of the Rambling with Rio show, Mr. Rio Robinson. Rio, What's up, baby boy?
What's going on, family? How we doing? Darian, you already know the vibes, man. What's going on, D-Mitty? How y'all feeling?
Hey, man, feeling good. It's a pleasure to have you on, brother.
Yes, sir. Let's get it in. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, man. Rio, first off, man, before we get into any Commander stuff, man, I know D-Mitty gives you flowers off camera, but I'm going to give you some flowers here, man. One thing I got to say, man, this guy right here has been doing it for a minute, has a ridiculous following, and has really, and watch this guy come up grassroots, man. Rio, talk to the audience, man, about your growth and how the channel has been going since you started everything and some of the things you've been doing, man, some of the cool stuff you've been doing, man.
Absolutely. I'm 3 years in the YouTube game. Started off as a podcast called Rambling About Washington. Decided to just take my talents to YouTube and get the content all in one place. You get it all from YouTube. I didn't want to go the audio route. I decided to go to YouTube. To be perfectly honest, it was the fastest route to monetization, and I do it for the passion. I do it for the love for the team and the game, but I'm also trying to be monetized for it, in this economy. You need to make some coins when it comes to making this content out here. So we kept the YouTube only, and we've been growing. We're almost at 12,000 subscribers on the channel. We just hit 3 million total views on the channel. And to be perfectly honest, this channel is so much further away from what I think it could be. So we're just getting started, baby.
Hey, man, that's awesome to hear, brother. I'm proud of you, man. Like I said, man, I watched you from afar for a minute, and then the past couple of seasons, with everything changing, I think the Commanders content community as a whole kind of like, hey, look, man, let's just mob up. Let's just all support each other. Mm-hmm. And, you know what I'm saying, try to put everybody on. So that's kind of one thing. And then, of course, everything on the internet translated to real life. We linked up, have a beverage, hang out, and it's all cool vibes, man. So that's a great thing, man. I'm just very proud to see where your channel is going, man. And I'm so glad to be on that ride with you, brother.
Appreciate y'all, my guy.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, man. I love to hear you talk your talk, brother. Because when you talk, you sound like you're speaking with confidence, and not a lot of people do that, brother.
Absolutely. And you like my favorite thing about it is there is no one way to fan. And when it comes to this content stuff, I don't feel like the TV network programming and the local media, radio station, sports delivery is always what I want to hear in 2024. I want to hear everybody kicking their shit. I want to hear people talking like regular fans. It's barroom talk with your boys, but on a level that we follow and keep up with everything that happens with the team. Every transaction, every bit of movement. When news breaks, you're going to get it from a fan's perspective, but fans that follow it a little bit more than the next.
Nah, for sure, man. And I think that's something that that has been lacking with the team as a whole. I mean, they've done better as of late with their social media content, and as far as stuff that they do online has gotten a lot better. So that's cool. But I love the fact that you're taking that mantle and saying, hey, we got to give you the fans' perspective, because that's really what we are, man. We fans, so we follow the team very closely, so we give our perspective. So I love that. And with you giving your perspective, guys, let me tell you something. Rio is like always locked in, always live. And Rio went live yesterday with the Dolphins preseason versus the Commanders game. So Rio, let's start there. We're gonna go right into it. Give me your just 2 sentences, man. What did you think about the game yesterday? Excuse me. Well, whenever this drops, it'll probably drop in the morning. What did you think about the game on Saturday with the Commanders taking on the Dolphins in week 2 of the preseason?
To keep it short and sweet, Cliff and Jaden is going to be a beautiful marriage here. We only got a little small sample size of what that looks like, but it's year 1 and we still got some pieces to add to this roster. So I like what I saw from the starting quarterback and starting offense, but in totality, every hole can't be filled in one season, and there are some glaring holes that remain on this roster.
No, I agree, man. And it's after watching the game yesterday, and I said this, I'm like, it's preseason, right? Like, we shouldn't expect so much. We want to see flashes and flurries of guys that want to play. But this is like, man, I hope this lack of offensive production does not translate to the regular season. Like, I want them to just be so vanilla that they're like, we don't care about points. And we come out week 1 and just put 30 on the board. I mean, that's the only concern that I really had is 2 weeks in a row. Kicking game is not working. We're not getting enough offensive output. Like, it just seems like it's a few things. I mean, I'm trusting in what they're doing over there, but just concerns. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, I definitely know what you mean, but it is preseason. But to be objective, preseason football, we know the product is bad. The product in that game last night, I went live through the whole game. I promise you, the conversation and discourse that took place in the chat was so much better than we watched on that TV screen. Watching Trace McSorley play football in an NFL game, that is not what I wish on any football fan.
Absolutely. D-Mitty, what'd you think about the game, man?
Hey, man, I ain't gonna lie, man. I was surprised with Brian Robinson, man. I mean, don't get me wrong. Dude ran hard last year, but this game here, I seen maybe it was that Dolphins defensive line that may have not been up to par. But Brian Robinson, man, and of course my guy Diami with those first 2 grabs, had me hyped because I love to see him get involved in the offense, man, because he don't drop catches when they come his way. And to see, just to see the defense, and I'm gonna always shout these 2 guys out, De'Ami Brown and Jamie Davis. So you know what I mean? To see those guys play hard and do their thing, that was, I wouldn't say a surprise, but that's what I loved about the game.
Rio, I'm gonna update you, man, and of course offline, but I want to make sure that and the fans know that this is the De'Ami Brown Stan account. This is De'Ami Brown Pro podcast.
You UNC coded. I'm already hip. I'm already sharp.
You know what I'm saying? So every time he does well, I get excited. But speaking to De'Ami playing pretty well this preseason in training camp, who else has kind of played well for you, Rio, in your eyes, other than the obvious of Jaden Daniels, which we'll get to a little bit later? Who else have you noticed this preseason that's kind of maybe caught you by surprise, or somebody that's just doing well in your eyes?
That undrafted freak of nature safety, Tyler Owens from Texas Tech, he has made himself indispensable through the first 2 weeks of preseason and in training camp so far. When you turn on the tape, he's all over the field. He's a demon when the ball's in the air. He seems like he tracks the ball as well as any cornerback we have out there not named Mikey Sanders still. He's built like a backer, moves like a corner, but is a natural safety. I want to see more of this guy. He'll probably make his bones early in his career on the punt team and in special teams as an undrafted rookie, but that is a guy Dan Quinn and Joe Witt need to find a way to work him into some rotations at some point when he gets his footing in the league, because Tyler Owens looks like a dude, man.
Agree. I second that one.
Hey, man, and I think this is where this is where you see the chops of Adam Peters and the staff, right? This is where, like, we expect the draft picks. We expect Jaden Daniels to be a star. We expect Sam Steele to play well because that translated in college. But it's when you look at guys at the bottom end of the draft or the undrafted free agents. It's like, where can we find those guys? Because every year it's always somebody around the league that nobody expected to be in the league that ends up playing 10 seasons, right? End up just sticking with rosters, ends up being indispensable, as you said. And I think Owens could be one of those guys, especially seeing as though how poor tackling was at times. And to kind of see that the defense is got a little dog mentality. Like, they get to the ball, but they got to make the plays with the ball. Do you think that Tyler Owens fits well in this defense with Joe Witt?
Yeah, I definitely think he fits the defense well. And you, me, like, we know how our fans here latch on to summertime heroes. You know those guys that be summertime fine but never make it on an active roster when the NFL season starts. We know what it looks like when it's fool's gold. We know what the certified jag that goes crazy in August looks like. He doesn't look like one of those. This looks like a football player. I know I was enamored as soon as I saw his relative athletic score, because I follow the relative athletic score thing. His is a perfect 10 out of 10. He has one of the best athletic profiles of a free safety we've ever seen. That's a big, fast, strong, and obviously a guy who has instincts. I think he fits perfectly to what they do in this defense. And after Jeremy Chin and Quan Martin are starting safeties, there's not too many guys on this roster that should prohibit him from seeing the field at some point.
Hey, you literally hit on something I was about to go into. My question to you was, where does he fit in that room? Because does he knock out a guy like Defoe, which is one of my guys that I always follow since he's been here.
Yeah, free safety for sure. He's going to definitely be in the free safety room. I see people talking about putting him at corner. No. That's a skill set, there's an array of technique and years of that I don't want to make someone learn at the next level. Keep him where he's used to. Keep him at free safety. And him and Defoe, it could knock out a guy like, should I say, Percy Butler over. Like, I know they want to put him on the field because the boy has crackhead speed, but at some point we're going to wait forever for some guys to develop. Some guys are going to be developing in 2 years away from being 2 years away for the rest of their careers. Percy Butler might be on that short list. So I think a guy like Butler may be affected as much as Defoe. I want to see what Defoe still has on this team.
Agreed.
And look, as we transition to the offensive side of the ball, we want to make sure that you're not 2 years away from the Breaking Command podcast. So make sure you're following right now, youtube.com/BreakingCommandPod. And of course, I'll have Rio's information up later, but you follow him as well. Make sure you're locked in. And on X, make sure you check us out. It's Breaking Command Pod. Just leave out the vowels in the beginning, man. You'll figure it out. But it's on X, it's Breaking Command Pod. And of course, our guest, Rio Robinson, Rio_Robinson91 on X. Follow him for all the latest and greatest in Commanders news, notes, and information. Let's get to this offensive side of the ball, man. Last week, Wiley, the running back, was somebody that really caught my eye, and he keeps having flashes and is playing well. Could he possibly be the third running back on this team?
Yeah,
Eckler's here, Robinson is here, but after that,
it seems like it, brother.
Rio, what you think about that, man?
Oh, it feels inevitable at this point, right? Because that's what we imagine, and that's what we want to see out of the third back. We know what B-Rob is. We know who Austin Eckler is. They're two very uber talented running backs, productive the whole nine. Chris Rodriguez was a head-scratching pick when we made the selection, when it happened in real time. He was allegedly an EB guy. EB ain't here anymore. Like, I didn't want to add a big, plodding, slow, fleet-footed running back to the room. He runs hard, but in the modern era, we need a running back that provides some type of dynamic nature, a guy that we can use in the pass game and the run game. Michael Wiley is decisive. He hits holes fast. He goes north to south fast, and he can catch the ball. I love what I've seen from him so far. He's been one of the stars of the preseason for the Commanders so far, and I think he's earned himself the spot as RB3 over Jeremy McNichols and Chris Rodriguez Jr.
Yeah, man. Yeah, you say that, man, because to be perfectly honest, I thought C Rod was somebody that was supposed to maybe like push B Rod, but B Rod did what he was supposed to do. So, and from what I said earlier, and if I could ask you a question, you know what I mean, as far as how this offense looks, who do you see, Rio, as somebody in the tight end group outside of Senate that can make plays? Because I mean, we know we got Ertz. He's a veteran. Sin is going to be that H-back guy. But is there anybody else that's going to really do what they need to do in that tight end group?
I think the only other tight end that's left that's going to be on the roster is Bates. Like Cole Turner, we wanted it to be Cole Turner coming out of Nevada, double-digit touchdowns. The first 10 days of Cole Turner in training camp, he was turning heads. He was one of the best players out on that field. I was there every day the first week he was here, his rookie year. He gets unnecessarily tackled by Percy Butler and Jeremy Reeves in practice, and I never saw the same tenacity out of the guy again. His hands are inconsistent. He's stiff as a route runner. He's definitely improved as a blocker. He's been blocking his ass off in the preseason so far, but he offers little to nothing in the passing game at this point. I think he's on the outside looking in. After the release of Amari Rodgers, other than Ertz, Sennett, and Bates, I don't see another tight end that's going to push to make this roster at this point.
And even with the numbers, right? I don't even think they're going to have space for 4 tight ends.
Nope.
I think they're going to end up with an extra wide receiver and maybe an extra running back with maybe keeping 4 possibly. But I just don't think it's like, you know, with the way these guys are set up, you have to be able to input, you know, have to be able to provide plays. And that's something that we definitely wanted Cole Turner to be, but he was often injured. And I also think the offense wasn't working into his favor. And with the offense working into a player's favor, let's go back to Dyami Brown, who the narrative kind of has been changing upon him, right? It's been that we know he's been dynamic, for lack of a better word, since coming out of college, but hasn't really had the opportunities to do it in the Scott Turner offense and then an Eric Bieniemy offense. It seems like in the past 2 weeks, he's had more opportunities. He's been higher up on the depth chart, and he's been running more routes that give you more opportunities to make plays. Rio, what do you think about Dyami as he comes through preseason and tries to make his way up to wide receiver 2 this year?
Okay. First things first, I'm going to push back a little bit. I hear that Tar Heel blue in your blood. I hear it. It's exuding. It is just flowing in your bloodstream right now, my brother. Dyami has got more than enough ample opportunities to make some things shake over the last couple years. Dyami did not make the most of said opportunities. We need more than 150-yard seasons from Dyami Brown. I don't need your stat production over 17 weeks to look like one game of Amon-Ra St. Brown, my boy. I need you to actually put some things on tape. Maybe the math is going to start mathing. Maybe something finally clicked. Maybe this reset of an organization we got in 2024 and Cliff Kingsbury's offense was just what the doctor ordered for Dyami, because we got to see it happen on regular season Sundays. But everything we've heard in the spring and the summer, in practice, and in our first 2 preseason games, Dyami is the number 2 receiver on the team right now. I don't think he's fighting for it. I don't think he's still in the competition for it. I think on one side of the field, you're going to see Terry McLaurin. I think on the other side of the field, you're going to see Dyami Brown. And I think in the slot, the first guy you're going to see is not the first round pick that we drafted 2 years ago. I think the first guy you see in the slot is named Olamide Zaccheaus. Those are your starting 3. But here's the thing. Fans don't need to lose their mind over that, because we're running a Cliff Kingsbury college-style air raid offense. We're going to see 4-5 receiver sets regularly, routinely. So we need a core of 5 wide receivers. So we're going to probably keep an extra guy and take 6 wide receivers in that room. They may even take 7. You never know. But Dyami needs to show me on Sundays in September, October, November, December. But I'm going to shoot him some bail and say, maybe it's actually finally coming together because it hurt my heart to see that he couldn't put 2 and 2 together with the college quarterback that he played with, quarterback in the team last year. But maybe it's time Dyami finally grasp it and produces in the regular season, because he looks great this offseason.
Hey, we rewriting the narrative over here, man. We ain't even talking about last season. And you know I'm a Sam House stan. I ain't even talking about No, but with with having a quarterback that you have a good relationship with, let's move into the first round draft choice of Jaden Daniels, who has taken the league by storm, taken the area by storm. He's been in the good graces of all the media members talking about the team. Rio, what do you think about Jaden Daniels now with the Washington Commanders? How will he fare? What have you seen that you like? And are you going to temper your excitements on him? Or are you ready to go all in?
Oh, no. We're not tempering excitements over here. Listen, guys. I know we've been waiting for a quarterback for 25 years. I know we've been waiting for this team to finally put it together, but I know what it looks like or what it's supposed to look like because we haven't had it here in quite some time. That looks different than what comes through here, y'all. Yeah. We've seen every iteration of mid to bad quarterback that there is in this league. That is not that. Like every national guy, every local guy, everybody that comes through and watches Jaden Daniels practice with this team says, oh, that looks like the guy. That looks special. That looks like a leader. The way that players talk about him, we hear it all the time. The coach speak, the players say potential this, potential that. No, his teammates are saying F potential. He's good right now. And that's what you want. And that should be the expectation when a guy started 55 games in college, when a guy played in college for 5 years, when he faced adversity, he failed at one program and then ascended at the next. So this is a dude who's seen it all, been through it all, and is very experienced. This is not your typical 21-year-old coming in wet behind the ears. This is a 23-year-old ready to play day one. And when I juxtaposed Drake May and Jaden Daniels, because I like them both, I love this quarterback class, my thing was always May has the possibility to be better long term, but right now, Jaden is significantly better. And I stand by those statements. Jaden looks exactly as advertised coming in. I'm so excited to see him get started in week one.
I will say this, man. I wasn't excited about Jaden at first. I did go back during the draft season and watch a couple more games because I only watched the FSU game because I'm a Florida State fan. Mm-hmm. And when I went back and I seen him, I was like, okay, he might be this good. I heard Chad Johnson say something about him last night on their show with Shannon Sharp. He was this and how he looks in the pocket. So if you had to, Rio, in your opinion, what is your, I guess you can say, expectations of him this season? I guess as far as maybe wins, losses, numbers, what is your expectation on Jaden?
I know everyone looks at stature and everyone looks at the fact that he ran for 1,200 yards last year in 10 rushing touchdowns, and they look at Lamar Jackson. I think Lamar is such a bad comp for Jaden Daniels. You know what the real comp for Jaden Daniels was? Pre-Predator Deshaun Watson. Pre-predatory Deshaun Watson, early Houston young superstar. Go back and look at his rookie year before he got hurt and young Deshaun Watson. A tall, lanky, poised, winning quarterback, like a guy that he was running 50-yard touchdown. People forgot how mobile Deshaun Watson was, but Watson kills you with his arm. He's cerebral. This dude is poised as hell. He's veteran poised. Of all the rookie quarterbacks we've seen so far, he looks the most poised out of all those guys. He's decisive. He's not holding on to the ball. He knows exactly where his reads are, and he's not wasting any time. He's running a freaking no-huddle offense in the second week of the preseason, and there were no hiccups. There were no time concerns, no delay of games. Everything looked methodical. Everything looked like he'd done it before here. I'm telling you, man, look at young Deshaun Watson in Houston. I think we're going to get something similar to that here.
I like that, Rio, because I was a Watson guy too. So, yeah, I like that.
Mm-hmm. Let's just hope that Jaden Daniels stays tight with his muscles and doesn't have to get any outside massages before his – let me stop. No.
Keep him away from the massage parlors.
Only in Ashburn training.
I didn't know where that was going.
That's it. All right.
The massage menace, Deshaun Watson.
Hey, look, man, you enjoying this conversation, man. Make sure you follow us on X BRKNGCommandPod. Make sure you stay locked in, man. We had so much going on. And Rio, before we get out of here, man, because we ain't gonna keep you long, brother, because I know you're a busy man. But before we get out of here, man, I want to ask you really quick about now. See, people may not know, Rio caused a lot of stir, receiving that Letterman jacket a few years ago and being a fan ambassador. Now, forget the drama behind the jacket, right? It's like an episode of Saved by the Bell. You came in with that jacket, but forget that, right? Let's just talk about the way the organization has changed over since the change of ownership with the fans, and how you've seen even at the games, even with the interactions. How has the new era and the new regime came in and changed your perception of the team as a fan?
For one, they're actually trying now. Like with Dan Snyder, he got so comfortable here, he stopped trying. He never showed his face. He never really spoke on the ineptitude of the organization. He let the stadium go to rot. He let the team headquarters in Ashburn go to rot. It's embarrassing. Like I almost sometimes, like as a fan, I always wanted to see us on Hard Knocks, but I think we've been spared embarrassment not getting on Hard Knocks over the years, because I would have hate to see the team facilities at Ortho Virginia Training Center at Commanders Park, formerly Redskins Park. I would hate to see that on HBO film, NFL films, because that building was so disgusting. The field was so disgusting. So the fact that they're actually trying, they're actually doing things the right way. And what I want them to continue to do is to hear the fans, but don't be overly transparent and accessible to fans. I don't need Joe Blow on X or myself making decisions for this team. Make a decision, stand on it, turn the culture around here. Like actually turn it around here. Don't keep telling us you're going to, actually do it. And I think these guys actually want to see this franchise change. I believe Josh Harris when he said, I'm not an F- kind of guy. And he opened up his wallet and has already spent over $200 million to upgrade the stadium and team facility.
I love that too, man. You kind of see it from top to bottom with the changeover ownership. He's put his money where his mouth is, and then you have management coming in and making some crucial decisions for the team. I mean, flipping the roster the way that they did, identifying guys that they should keep and identifying guys that they should move on with, doing that, the upgrades at the field, the upgrades
using analytics too. That's something I forgot to mention. Analytics,
science and math. What they're doing all that down there. And you really just see how much Dan Snyder just didn't care about the squad. And like you said, man, I wanted to be on Hard Knocks. I'm like, all these shows, man, we can't get on none. But like you said, it probably spared us because I know it's bad over there, man. And it's just crazy how somebody who can say they were a fan of the team, literally have the team, and didn't want to invest nothing in the squad, bro. Like how do I just don't get it, bro. That's like owning a house and just saying, I don't even care how it's crazy to me, man.
He was just happy with the transaction of saying I purchased my favorite team. Like he didn't really care what came with it. He thought winning was just going to come because he loved the team. And then I felt like the love for the team stopped at that point, and he just started doing his own thing. And we, the fans, had to pay for it.
Absolutely,
that's true, man.
The love never stops with the fan base, man. I feel like with the transition over, I feel like fans are more motivated, more excited, wanting to go to games, wanting to actually be proud to wear this burgundy and gold. Now, some may argue about the name continuously, which blows my mind, but you're still here and you're still rocking with the squad, man. Like, so it's a beautiful thing, I believe. And it's guys like you, man, who keep the mantle going with the enthusiasm, with the excitement, man, always reporting on something, raising hell, and has been raising hell for a while, Rio. So, man, like I said, we appreciate you and the way you keep everybody motivated, brother.
Yeah, hey, I'm trying, man. I'm trying out here, man. I love to do this content thing. Anybody can do it. Anybody can do it. You don't need the fanciest thing. I'm on a laptop computer with a virtual background and a microphone. You don't got to do it. Ain't nothing fancy schmancy over here. If you have something to say, start. Just begin. There's room for everybody to eat in this content sphere. And honestly, this new media is the way to go, man. We're taking the game from the original media that we are used to seeing, and we're doing it from a relatable fan experience. I love this team. I bleed burgundy and golden to the death of me. I will never be afraid to criticize it, to slander it when I need to, because at the end of the day, I've been a fan, always going to be a fan. Call this team whatever you want. Just call them a winner one day, and it will be fine.
Absolutely. And Rio, we're a little bit older than you, man, so we got a chance to actually experience some actual wins and some actual you know what I'm saying, some games in late January and February, man.
Tell me how it's like.
It's
like.
it was
we
so
gonna
long,
get that soon.
it was so long ago that I barely remember it. You know what I'm saying? But we're gonna get back there, man. And I want it for guys like you, man. I want it for guys that haven't been able to experience it. And you know, we right there, man. And with that being said, Rio, before we get out of here, and D-Media, I'm gonna get your comment on this too. What are you expecting this year from the team, man? Like, you don't have to give wins and losses, but just tell me what you're expecting. I know the fans are expecting the CJ Stroud type, Houston Texans type of year.
Giving it a relax.
Yeah, I want them to really chill on that because I didn't even expect what happened to the Texans last year to happen. So I really want
and that is what made the Houston Texans season special. Stop giving expectations to a first-year coach and a rookie quarterback and a new GM and 20 new players and 13 new starters. What we need to do as fans is just enjoy the season. Year one of our new superstar quarterback. Year one of Adam Peters taking Ron's trash and trying to make cuisine. You know, it's year one of it. This year is about establishing an identity, learning how to compete, and developing a 23-year-old quarterback. Point blank, period. I think that results in more wins than we won last year. I think it results in more than 5 wins. Not going to put a number on it just yet, but stop expecting playoff. Stop talking about wild card berth. Stop talking about competing for the division. First things first, we need to establish a damn identity. What does this team do well? What are they? When you see Washington show up on the schedule, what can you expect? Because we've lacked an identity for almost 25 years. That's what this season is about. People need to pump the brakes and let it happen organically because we're building it up brick by brick the right way. We didn't go out and get a BBL. We in the gym right now.
I love that. I love that. D-Baby, are you alone? Do you agree with Rio with the expectations this year?
Most definitely, brother. I really do. I really want to elaborate on that because you can't put your fandom in a place where you're going to set yourself up to be let down. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You know, ceilings and floors is hard to set, man, because to be perfectly honest, man, as a fan, like as a true fan, a fanatic, becoming a fan of this team because I hated the Cowboys, becoming a fan of this team because it was a family tradition, family scattered about this whole Mid-Atlantic region who's fans, and being like, man, I want to be a part of this thing. I want to see us beat the Cowboys. That's like I'm that fan. I'm that fan that beating the Cowboys is my Super Bowl. I'm a fan where beating the Eagles in Philly is my wild card weekend win
One of those
because you can talk jump because I got those very small fandoms. I mean, fans in my family who are Eagles and friends that are Cowboys fans. My mother is a diehard Cowboys fan, so I love having that conversation with her when we can beat the Cowboys. So yeah, I'm not having expectations of going 10-7 and we gotta at least make it to the wild card because to be perfectly honest, if we don't, I'm going to be upset. So I'm going to enjoy the season. I'm going to enjoy what these players do. This is the first year of a complete retool, a complete rebrand where this team is not this organization, this whole thing is not going to look. It's not going to look the same.
It's not.
No, I agree. And what's never going to be the same is that we're going to have the same people every week. So Rio, you're going to come back, just not next week or next episode. But we're going to have you back here. Rio, before we get out of here, man, we want to appreciate you for being on the show, man. I want you to quickly tell everybody where they can find you, all your information, and let the people lock in with you.
At Rio_Robinson91. You can find me on all social media platforms with that same handle at Rio_Robinson91. Pot stir on the timeline. If you don't like free thinkers, if you don't like people that are not afraid to say the quiet things out loud, don't follow that. But if you do, right there in my channel, Rio Robinson, the show's called Rambling with Rio on YouTube. You know the vibes. We're about 83 subscribers away from 12,000 subscribers on the channel. Come join it for raw, unfiltered, objective, fun fandom. What I say earlier, monetized fandom, y'all. Let's get it in, baby.
That's the hashtag, baby. That's the hashtag. Rio, real quick, man. My first encounter is not today. Our first encounter was maybe like a year or two back on Spaces, man. And I was hosting the space, and you came in, and I kind of just let you take over, brother, because I can tell your fandom was so enthusiastic, and I sat back and I enjoyed it. And also, once again, like I told you before the show, man, your interview with Jason Reed, man, I watched the joint twice because I was excited to see two brothers sit down and have a conversation that one, I'm just now, getting to know as, a content creator, like I said, brushed across the social media, and the other brother, somebody who's not too, far in age from us and becoming one of the first black presidents of an NFL organization. I enjoyed it, man. So, I love what you do, brother.
Oh, you're talking about Jason Wright? Yeah, Jason Wright, bro. Yeah, hell yeah. Yeah, that's my guy. That's my guy.
I do it every time, bro. I do it every time, bro.
Shout out to him. Shout out to him. No, shout out to Jason Wright. That's a good dude. I've chopped it up with him multiple times. It's been very cool being able to shoot a text to the team president, bro, and have him on my show. That's fire. I appreciate him for what he did here. He's going to get a lot of hate. He got a lot of hate. They called him Jason wrong. He's always writing my books.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And you're always writing our books, Rio. We appreciate you being here on the show with the fellas, man. And we're not going to hesitate to have you back once the season gets going and kicks off. So we appreciate you again, Rio, for being here. And everybody that's tuned in, make sure you went and follow that brother. Make sure you follow us. Of course, you like, subscribe, share with a friend. You'll get a 5-star review. You get your 5 seconds of fame, and you can follow us on X at Breaking Command Pod. Leave the vowels out, and you'll find us. But everybody lock in. Everybody have a wonderful day wherever you are. And peace and love. And let's go, Commanders. Can we get a left hand up on the way out?
Hey. Who are we?
No, like Doug Williams said, we're the Commanders.
We the Commanders. He said, we the Commanders.
Can I lean over to we the Commanders?
You got to say it like you got mashed potatoes and we the Commanders.
Y'all get out of here. Peace and love, everybody.